municipal IDs. We have various organizations that join us today. We have the veterans of the United States here. We have religious representatives, representatives of the Secretary of State, and well, in your packet you will find a sheet on there that of all the, so far, all the groups that support this initiative. Let me start by reading briefly the abstract of what this initiative entitles Chicago Municipal IDs. It states, we citizens and residents of Chicago would like to present to all members of City Council. By the way, let me mention that the City Council is in session right now, deliberating how they're going to balance the city budget. And let me mention that this is a very important initiative that's going to help the city budget in bringing a new flow of revenue into the city. So let me continue. City Council, an initiative to mandate municipal identification cards for all residents of Chicago. The purpose of this initiative is to provide a form of identification for thousands of Chicago residents who otherwise are not able to obtain one. The target of our initiative crosses racial groups, age, gender, nationality, and immigration status. Our main objective, we believe, municipal IDs will accomplish our social integration, local economic stability, and internal security. We believe that the City of Chicago will accomplish solutions for many issues residents currently face with the lack of identity. With many of our residents living in the shadows, municipal IDs will be the way for Chicago local authorities to know who lives in the city and where they live. The creation and distribution of municipal IDs will create a sustainable source of revenue for the City of Chicago. In these hard economic times, we feel that the municipal IDs will help to balance the city budget, as I stated earlier. Furthermore, municipal IDs will generate a new pool of potential organ donors who otherwise don't have that opportunity. Thousands of residents with the identity who witness themselves victims of crimes or who are victims of crimes do not have the opportunity or are afraid to report crimes for lack of identity. This would actually lower crime rate. The benefit of having a municipal ID will enable residents who currently lack an ID card to open bank accounts, would help with their personal finances, including renting an apartment or buying a home. Municipal IDs assist residents in applying for work when in fact employers ask for an identification ID card. Senior citizens who are living in fixed income or can benefit from having a city identification card to receive discounts and take advantage of city services that are available to them. Gay, lesbian, bisexual, and transgender residents can benefit from municipal IDs by having a form of identification that recognizes and respects the personal identity without fear of discrimination or prejudice. Homeless residents living in shelters throughout the city can use municipal identification cards as well as guaranteeing services that they need to sustain themselves and be treated with dignity and respect. Chicago residents under the age of 16 could also use municipal IDs to identify themselves with their respective schools, as well as in the event that they are detained by police. Chicago police will be able to know who and where they reside, as municipal IDs will include an emergency contact number in the back of the card. Our municipal identification card initiative is something we feel is urgently needed in our communities. For many Chicago residents of different nationalities and backgrounds who lack any form of identification, it is like being invisible to society when in fact we are a great asset to the City of Chicago. We strongly believe that our initiative is a great service to our community and the City of Chicago as a whole. As residents of Chicago, we respectfully ask local elected officials, including Mayor Richard Daley, City Clerk Miguel Del Valle, Corporation Council Mara Georges, and all 50 ward aldermen to support this ordinance, to enact this ordinance, to issue municipal IDs for all Chicago residents, regardless of race, age, or immigration status. Next, I'd like to homeless people. It also includes elderly people who are born in the 30s, 40s, 50s, who have no identification whatsoever. The transgender community, as I stated earlier, so that they can be respected regardless of their gender. And also the very low income communities out in the city of Chicago. Residents will also be entitled to basic medical services